Hello, welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. This is episode 230 of my show. And tonight's guest, this will be his fourth time on Vibin with Ashley Live. This artist was on episode 32, episode 109, and episode 181, which was back in September of 2022. So we have so much to catch up on. The one, the only Zach Day is joining me on tonight's show. Zach Day is a Nashville-based singer, songwriter, and guitarist. His passion for music started at a young age while singing in church. Zach was featured on season 18 of The Voice and wowed the judges with his cover of Weak by SWV. His latest single available was released on April 27th. Zach is in the house, and let's bring him on in and get this party started. Hey,
Oh
Zach.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you for having me.
Zach, how are you? You're so
I'm good.
welcome.
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, it's just been busy. I'm just getting back from LA. I was just out there for a week and just coming off like playing 3 shows back to back. So that was exhausting. And then the song coming out last week too. So just trying to like recuperate and rest a little bit this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope you've gotten some time to just rest because I know you're in Nashville now, but you were in LA. You did these 3 back-to-back shows. So I hope that you've been able to just chill and just eat some good food and relax and sleep and do wonderful things for yourself.
Yes, it's been good. I've just been like reading a lot, which has been like super nice. I'm in my reading era right now for sure. And just like watching Family Guy, which is like the stupidest show ever, but I absolutely love it. And yeah, and that's basically what I've done most of the weekend.
Love that. So, okay, you said you're a very big reader. Are there any books that you're loving that you think or you just want to talk about with us?
Okay, so this book has been on my mind, my heart. I read it in one day, not too long ago. It's called I Who Have Never Known Men. And you guys should just all check it out. It's crazy. It's like about like this woman and okay, basically it's like these like 40, I think it's 49 or 50 women are like in this underground bunker. None of them have any recollection of how they got there, and they've never met men before. It's just like, it's basically just like feminism, and it's just like girl power, and it's just like, it's a beautiful book. I really loved it. And it's like post-apocalyptic. It's weird, like you're going to be questioning things, but it was a quick read for me. Read it in one day and was just like, everyone has to read this, so definitely check that one out. And then I just kind of like have been reading a lot of like thrillers. I like psychological thrillers, anything with like twists and turns in it. Just to keep me kind of like engaged. That's kind of what I've been doing. And my goal was to read 15 books this year, and I've already read 21 this year. So I'm like,
oh, wait, this year is 12 months. You've already read 21 books?
21, I think that's what it said yesterday. Yeah.
Zach, you need to make a new goal.
I know. Well, it's just like I've been spending a lot of time on airplanes, and that gives me a lot. I have my Kindle, and I'll just like download a couple books, and I'll read one on the way there, and I'll read one on the way back, and then I'll read one in the Airbnb, you know. So that's basically what I've been doing.
Yay. I'm glad that you already hit this goal, because I feel like sometimes when we make goals for ourselves, maybe we come up a little short, but like you over exceeded this, and we just started May.
Right. I know. Well, I don't know what got into me, but I've been like on TikTok, and I've been on Book Talk. So like people will just like recommend books, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really good, and I'll add it to my list. And then that's just how I got started. And I'm like, wow, this has been such a good, like, I used to love to read when I was like a teenager, but I like kind of fell out of it. So it's been a really good way for me to get back to like something that I used to love and kind of fell out of. And it's been like, oh, this is so nice. And it's just such a good way to like not be, you know, working on social media. That's just been like my like, I'll even read it on the treadmill. I'll like go to the gym and like walk a couple miles and just like keep my Kindle right there and just read. I mean, it's been great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And I think as a creative person, it's important to find other creative outlets that you can lose yourself in. And I think a book is really cool, right? Because when you read a book, tell me if you do this because I do this as well. I
Okay.
like envision what the person looks like. I envision what their house looks like. Like I have this whole made up story in my head, and it obviously would look nothing like what the author thought it was.
Well,
But
maybe, but yeah,
right?
same. I mean, that definitely. And then like it's also been really fun too because I've been reading books and then some of these books will be turned into movies, but I'll like read the book first and then watching the movie I'm like, "Oh, like that's not how I envisioned them at all." Or it's like, "Oh, that is like exactly how I envisioned them." And I'll cast them in my head too. I'll be like, "You know who would play this really well?" It'd be like Jennifer Lawrence. She would like eat this role up if they made it into a movie. You
Totally.
know what I mean? I'm casting it in my head. So like yeah, it is a good way to like kind of just like writing, I'm a writer, so
Yeah.
it's inspiring to see what other ways that people tell stories and that kind of like, in that format, and then like I can take things from that, and it's just inspiring different creative ideas in my head when I'm about to write a song. I mean, yeah, it's been cool, and I've found like a few authors that I've read like more than one of their books, which has been that's just cool too. It's just like anything else, you can find like your favorite authors, your favorite niche genre, whatever, and yeah, it's been a great journey for me. Really, it's been
Yeah.
fun.
Love that. I definitely have to get more into reading because I feel like I just need to like it needs to just like happen. I just need to devote like 5-10 minutes. I can do it. I mean, if you can read 21 books and like we're in the first week of May, then I feel like I can do, one or,
Totally.
one or two.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, it's just, I've been, yeah, that's been my like solace. Cause like, I don't know. I don't really watch a lot of movies these days or TV or anything like that. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. I still do, but it's just been, I've been just reading. That's been my, like, the fun thing that I've been doing. So I don't know if that tells you like, I'm getting a little like, I'm growing up a little bit. I'm maturing a little bit, like,
Yes.
or something maybe. Cause I just turned 30. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know. It's been really nice. I'll like make a cup of tea. I'll sit down. I'll put on like I've been listening to medieval tavern ambiance. Don't know why. And I'm like, this is relaxing. And I'll like put that on in the background. And it's just like, and I'm just like, okay. And then I'll just like light a candle and just like crack open a book. It's the best. It's the
Love
best.
it. Happy birthday, by the way, because
Thank
30,
you.
30 is a big one, right? 30 is that time that you reflect and you're like, okay, where is my life going? What's
Yeah.
what's coming up the next 30 years, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. It's been great, honestly. It's been really good. It's been a wonderful year so far, for me, and yeah, lots of growth, but I'm just hoping that the 30s is where I'm gonna just continue to thrive and just it's been I've made a lot of progress this year with my music, my career, my personal life. Um, so yeah, 30s are great.
Yeah. Always growing and evolving.
Absolutely. Yeah, you already know.
Love that. So you were on a show a couple years ago called The Voice. Don't you feel like it's been like forever?
Yeah, I've heard of that show. It does. Okay, it's like it's weird because it kind of does feel like it's been forever ago, but then at the same time, it's like it's not been that long ago. It
Yeah.
was like I remember we filmed it, and then right after filming, I moved to Nashville, and then a couple weeks after that was like it was airing, and COVID just happened. So like
Yeah.
think about it in that way. It's like, okay, that's been a few years ago. Yeah, but it's like also, I don't know. It's so weird. It was kind of like a blip in time for
Mhm.
me. But yeah, I still like reminisce about it fondly, and it was a great time. But yeah, can't believe it. It was like I think it aired in 2020. So and like
Yeah.
you said, I was like your 30th episode or something, which is crazy. Now you have like almost 230 or something. It's like that's
Yeah. Well,
amazing.
thank you so much. You've been on this journey with me because, as I told you earlier, I can't do this show if I don't have amazing people like you on. And for you to be on my show for the fourth time, I'm so very grateful because you're amazing. And
Thank you.
we just can talk so openly. And I'm
Yeah,
so happy to be on this journey with you. So thank you for your time. And I'm
totally.
such a fan of what you do.
Well, thank you. And I say the same about you. I mean, it's been awesome to see, you have like all my friends on, and I was like, period. Like, and that's just, I love that you give us a platform, because a lot of times, especially after you get off a show like The Voice or American Idol, it's sometimes that's where the journey ends for people. So, you give some people, including myself, just a voice to just like continue to talk about making music and being in the industry or whatever their journey might be. Everybody's journey is different, but like, yeah, it's wonderful to see all of us with you giving us this kind of platform to just discuss our experiences and stuff. It's awesome.
I am so grateful because I've had so many people from The Voice that I've grown close with, that I've had on a couple of times. And so it's just like, right, you're on this show, people are bombarding you, you're getting all this attention, and then you come off the show and you're just like, so what now? Like, do I keep the momentum up? Like, because some people, they kind of disappear after they have the success.
That moment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So tell me about your time on the show and how it impacted your career and artistic growth.
Well, I was in college whenever I was going through the casting process of being on The Voice. And I was just trying to figure out who I was as an artist. I think I knew my skills. I've been singing and performing for a really long time, and even writing songs for a while too, and playing guitar and stuff like that. But I really wasn't sure about who I was as an artist, or even like what it takes to be an artist in that way. Like, as in, like, you really should go into this show and into your career as a musician, as an artist, with like a really good identifiable brand and look and sound and genre and all this other stuff. And I was just like, I don't know, girl, I just sing and I can sing my face off and that's all I know. So I was just ready to go in there, and I was just going to take whatever opportunity came my way. And, I think that was a good thing, and for me, but maybe a bad thing for the show, because I was getting put in these boxes of like R&B music and stuff like that, which was great. I love that music, but it kind of confused me a little bit even more, honestly, which I don't know, maybe it's different for some people, but I will say though, even though I was confused and I was like, I don't know what type of, it was like one of the first times where I was like, Zach, like, you really need to like figure out what lane you're going to be in, whether that's R&B, folk music, pop, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. That was a good, like, kind of smack in the face of like, okay, like, you got to figure it out, because you got the talent, but let's like embellish that a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's perfect it. Let's polish it and figure out who you are as an artist, as an individual. So that's something that I definitely learned from the show. And just like, I had a great time. I got to meet some amazing people that are some of my favorite artists to this day. And I learned a lot from them too. Like, seeing some of my friends like Zan Fiscum, and like I was in her wedding recently, which was like amazing. And Jacob Miller, me and Jacob were in Zan's wedding. So like that goes to show you anything. Like, you get close with these people, but both of them super like confident in their artistry, knew who they were, had a really good brand, had a really good look and everything. And I was like, okay, so that inspired me. So just like getting to like work really closely with people like that, and then just getting advice from like John Legend, and getting to like, work with him, and he still follows me on my journey. And just the other day I played at Hotel Cafe, and someone came backstage and was like, I was Team Legend too. And I was just like, oh, period, like on a different season. And he was like, yeah, like, isn't it crazy that John like still keeps up with us? And like, he's like, let's send him a picture of me and you right now. He's gonna be like so excited to see that that we met, and that you're out here in LA playing shows. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's definitely a blip in my life, but I learned so much, and I just look on it really fondly.
Yeah. And it's cool that you're able to connect with people from other seasons too. Because I know when people are on the show, like The Voice, even if you're not in the same season, it's just the fact that you had a very similar experience, and people outside of The Voice don't know what that's like.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, especially living somewhere like Nashville or LA, there's going to be people The Voice has been going on for like what, 25 seasons or something now. It's a
Yep.
lot. So like, you know, the chances of you running into somebody that's been on the show, living in Nashville or LA or somewhere else, major city, is like you stand a good chance of running into someone that's done the show.
Yeah.
But it does kind of feel like, okay, you automatically have a little bit of a connection because you've been through a similar experience. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, but it's cool too because they always have like different coaches and different experiences and stuff like that. So like, you know, I think I love to hear about people who maybe got to work with like Gwen Stefani or Miley Cyrus or Ariana Grande or some of these other people that I never got the chance to meet. And I'm just like, that's so cool. Like, it's just, yeah, it's a big world, but it's also a small world when it comes to like the show.
Definitely. Yeah. And you're right. They're always introducing new judges, new mentors. And it's like, oh my gosh, like even Megan Trainor was on this past season. Like she
Cool.
was
Yeah, I love her.
a mentor. And you're just like, oh my gosh, it's so rad that like some of these huge artists come over, whether they're a judge or a mentor, and see value in the show and want to help artists develop.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so weird to have some of your idols be that accessible.
Yeah.
It's kind of like crazy to be like, okay, if I want to go try out for The Voice, the worst thing that could happen is I don't get on. The best thing that could happen is I get like personal one-on-one advice from like someone that I've listened to for 20 years or whatever, however long, you know? So like, yeah, it's just, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. But for me, as far as like after the show and how it impacted my career, I just think that it just helped inspire me to like really lean into identifying myself as an artist and growing as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And like you always have that option though to be like, do I want to continue to do this, or do I just want to like have this be like that experience and then just not do music anymore? And I totally understand either way.
Yeah,
because it's fast paced and it's like it's throwing you into being on national TV and having to perform. I mean, some of these people are kids. They've never played on a stage before. You know what I mean? Some of these people are, or maybe some of these people are adults that have never played on a stage before. You don't have to be, that's the crazy thing about The Voice is like, you don't have to be a touring artist to be on the show, to win the show. You don't have to, you just have to be a good singer and have a good, you know, identifiable brand and
definitely.
story. So yeah, it's just interesting to see everyone's individual paths that they take like after their time on a show like The Voice is over. But it definitely keeps me interested because I'm seeing everything that everybody's doing.
Yeah, and I think you need to know what people are doing, right? Because you might be working with these people down the line. Like you might be like, oh, somebody from this season, and somebody reaches out to you and they're like, oh my God, you were on a couple seasons ago. Because I know that for a fact that some people will be like, oh, I'm on this season of The Voice, but there's also people that reach out and say like, oh, I was on season 10, I was on season 15, 25.
Yeah.
So it's cool because it's kind of just like this big family, even though you've never met, you kind of have, because you all have this like similar experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've met some people here that were on like season 6 or 7 of The Voice, and I'm just like, wow. And they're like, yeah, they got to work with like Christina Aguilera, and like that was like a long time ago, you know. So I'm just like, that's so cool. But yeah, man, The Voice, it's a time and a time and a half for sure. I love it.
So after the show, you continued to make your own music and put all these covers out. You're very active on TikTok. Like you're posting so much content, and your talent's been recognized by quite a few incredible artists. I'm just going to name a couple because there's tons, but
Okay.
Megan Trainor, Brandy Carlisle, like these are heavy hitters in the industry. So how has being acknowledged by these superstars influenced your approach to music?
Wow. I mean, like the Carole King thing that was a dream come true. She's an idol to me. So, I mean, like, and to most of America, I'm sure, America's sweetheart. I don't know. It is kind of validating whenever your idols acknowledge your existence and they're like, we see you. It's a little bit of pressure too, because you want to impress it's just kind of like, okay, people are watching. So like whatever you put out, like, you know, people are going to see it. So just put your best foot forward and really give it your best. Like, that's why I do post a lot, but and I could be posting more, but I try to just like post stuff that is of quality. Like I really, because I know I got these people following me, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And they're going to see it. So I just want to be sure that like whatever I'm posting is really good and has the potential to do numbers. And yeah, the posting thing is just, it's just part of the music industry right now. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that drive to continue to post on TikTok and social media because that's just where the music industry is.
Mhm.
Um, but I wouldn't say that it's the end all be all because like, you know, what's most important is being able to perform, in my opinion, is just like being able to get up and sing and play the songs that you've written. Whether TikTok or Instagram is not around anymore, you should still be able to go up there and just prove your talent without having any of that stuff. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that just comes, I think that just comes from like where I was raised, you know what I mean? Like some of the, like I've said this in many interviews, but it's like some of the best singers and songwriters and guitarists and musicians that I've ever heard are like in the backwoods of Kentucky, like on a porch. And like, you know, no one might ever hear of them because that's just not what they're trying to do. They're just amazingly talented and happen to be. So I don't know, all of that to say like, you know, I think that it's important to post on social media, but I try not to make it too big of a deal because it can easily, you can get in your head and be like, oh my God. And I'm just like, look, you can do it all. You can do it all.
You can.
Yeah, you can have your music career. And if TikTok goes down tomorrow, you can still have a music career. Don't stress out. There's going to be always something new coming up.
Yeah, because the music industry is changing so much. And you're right, you have been doing a lot of live shows, but you're also doing a lot of covers and you're getting that traction. And it's so cool that something like social media can connect you with some of your idols.
Yep, absolutely. And it's also taught me a little bit about branding myself too. I mean, I've always considered myself to be a folk singer at heart.
Mhm.
And, you know, just being a Kentucky boy playing the guitar on the porch like everybody else back home, you know, like that's just what I'm used to. And then being like, how can I translate this into my brand and my artistry? So I kind of just started posting these and saying, okay, this is like, I'll play like Paris Hilton's Stars Are Blind, but make it like y'all alternative. And y'all alternative has become like my brand right now because it's like a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. It's a little bit of like a mashup of these two worlds, and that's how I like it. So that's become, it's y'all alternative right now. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And it works for you and you're just doing what you love. And it's like when you're authentic to your craft and the genre, if you will, right? Because you just want to do what you feel. And then people are
Right.
like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. He did that.
Right. And if you just put that word on it, like it's just like I would just sing these songs just like this, and like but it was like whenever I discovered this term y'all alternative, I was like, wait, that's actually really good.
Mhm.
Let's make this like this is what we're gonna lean into right now. And that made stuff start popping off. People want to hear y'all alternative version of their favorite song. So that's why it like worked for me. I was just like I figured out what worked for me and I just like leaned into it and I'm still doing that and it's yeah, it's been great for me for sure.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I,
my own personal music can reflect that as well.
of course. And I love that you found your niche, right? Because like you have to just lean into what makes you happy and
Yeah.
then your fans will follow. Because right,
Hmm.
like you were on The Voice and you were just like, oh, I'm not quite sure like what lane I'm in, but then you're able to develop yourself in a way and just be like, this is me, this is my brand, this is like how you can kind of put me in this category. And then you have all these people that follow you because of it.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just super important to be an artist because you know there's a lot of people that can sing, but you have to be able to stand out somehow, and like you know something like the alternative for me, and that's just like become like the type of music that I'm releasing and writing now too. It's like okay, well it's the alternative, okay, like that works. So yeah, just gotta find what works for you and just lean into it hard.
Love that. So
Yeah.
speaking of leaning into what drives you in your own music, congrats on the latest single available. Just came out a couple days ago. Tell me about the inspiration behind the song.
Ooh, well, um, you know, my songs and my lyrics and my music all is just like most of the time, it's my personal diary entries. And if you listen to the lyrics, if you pay attention to the story that I'm telling, it's just a lot of, I'm just a yearning kind of person. I'm going through something all the time. um, and I've had a lot of ups and downs in my personal life over the past few years, and I have no other outlet sometimes except to write a song about it. And I don't talk about my personal life. I mean, like that's something that I need to work on too, on like my social media and stuff, is like really showing my personality more. I think we've talked about this on this show before. It's just like, it's just hard to do, especially for someone like me, to be really open with my personality and sharing like personal stories of my life like online, because I don't know, I don't necessarily feel comfortable with that. But like, I can write a song and air out all my dirty laundry and then just be like, if y'all want to know me, just go listen to the music and you will, it's all the truth, it's all the tea. So if you want it, just got to go listen to the music, because I'm not going to just come on here and tell everything right out front, like with you know what I mean? Like I have to do it in a creative way that's also going to feel like a little cathartic for me. It's going to be like getting something off my chest. So yeah, I mean, like, the song speaks for itself. It's just a story about some stuff that I've been going through, and yeah, that's all I can really say. Just go listen to it, and you'll understand. You'll hear it.
Yeah, when you sent me the lyrics, I was reading them and I was like, okay, I feel like this is a therapy session. Like I know exactly what it's about. And I feel like if people watching this have heard the song, they know exactly what it is about. But it's interesting that you say you have difficulty talking about it, but you're able to express it in a creative way, because you are very vulnerable in your music. Like I feel like the music that you've put out, I'm just like, I know exactly what he's talking about. Like, and I feel like other people can identify with that as well.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like, yeah, like, oh my gosh, just like last week when the song came out last week when I was in LA, and I had a show that night. So I was like, this song is about to come out tonight, and then I played it, and I was in a room of like just a bunch of different people, but there were these like teenage girls in the front row, and it was like their first concert. So I was like their first live music performance.
Aww.
And then they were like this close, okay? Like I was singing it to them, and then after I played the song, I was like picking up my guitar and stuff, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, Zach!" And I was like, "Hey!" And they're like, I felt that so hard, and I'm like, that's amazing that you as like a 16-year-old girl and me as like a 30-year-old man, we can relate on like a similar experience. And I said, girl, just don't be like me. I said, don't be like me. Like, I hope that you can learn something from this. Learn something from this, like Tyra Banks said. But for real, like, but I'm like, I think that's awesome. I said, that's what music is. It's just like, I'm just telling my story, and I hope that you can relate to it. And I'm sorry that you're going through some stuff, but it's all going to be all right. And maybe you can take your pain and make something great out of it, like a song or whatever your creative outlet is. Yeah, so that was just a really cool experience to have like someone just tell me right after I played the song, like, oh my gosh, like I feel like you just told my story on stage. And I'm like, that's amazing, because like my stories are so detailed and so personal and so true to me. But it doesn't matter if it's like, my songs are it's very like openly queer music as well, but it doesn't matter if it's that or not. Like you as a listener can probably relate to it. We've all gone through breakups and makeups and everything else. So yeah, I just try to make them unique enough, but also hoping that everyone can relate in some way and just get something from it emotionally.
And that's powerful that those girls came up to you and were like, oh my gosh, I thought you were speaking to me. And you're like, what? You haven't really gone through much. You're like 16, girl.
I'm like, well, girl, yeah, just, hey, like literally learn something from this, because if you're going through it now, don't be 30 and going through it. Please don't.
Yeah. But I feel like some of the music that touches other people is the difficult music. It are the hard times, right? When you think about it, you're just like, okay, this was gut wrenching to write about and talk about. And I'm sure it's got to be difficult to perform in a live place, right? Because these are like your personal feelings and thoughts. But then when people come up to you and they're like, hey, I felt that. I'm going through the same thing. Like that's that whole bonding. Right?
Yeah, and that's why I love playing live, and I love sharing my songs, and because it's just an instant, yeah, you can feel it, and I think that people can see when I'm performing these songs just how personal they are to me. I'm channeling something when I'm playing my songs, and I'm just, yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, my God, yeah, it's hard. It is, but it's also cathartic at the same time to perform these songs. But yeah, it's almost like reliving it. But I try not to make it that precious to me, because once I've written the song and it's out there, I try to just kind of like, yeah, like let it speak for itself. You know, this was just a moment in time, another blip in my life that I had to get off my chest, and now I've created something from nothing, and now I have something to show for it. So I think that it's just I'm more proud of the stuff that I've been able to write about than I am like sad about it. Like, you know, I was sad in the moment, but now I'm proud of myself, and I'm happy to sing and share my stories, because that's just who I am. That's made me who I am, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then another single of yours, You're Bored, and I Hate It. Talk about that song and the creative process behind it.
You're Bored and I Hate It. Okay, so I wrote that song um, when I was like filming The Voice, actually. So it's
Okay.
an older song that I wrote, and it's about a friend of mine that I like had a crush on famously. Someone I was in love with in college. That was a friend. Um, that the whole thing is about like them coming to LA to hang out with me when I was filming The Voice. So next time you listen to it, you're gonna listen to it and you're like, oh my God. So yeah, that's basically what it's about. And then I was just like, oh, like you don't actually like me like that. You were just bored and wanted to like take a fun trip to California. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wrote it then, and then I kind of just put it away for a while, and then every now and then I would play it at some live shows. And when I lived in LA last year, I think I played it once for my friends who are now my band. I played it for them, and my friend Richard was like, Zach, I love that song. That's a cool song. Like, you should like record that or something. I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't really like it. And he was like, no, I think it's cool. We should record it. And I was like, oh, okay. So we recorded it, and then we played it on tour, and then we've just been playing it ever since. And then now it just hit 10,000 streams, and I'm just like, period. So that song has been a surprise sleeper hit for me.
I love how one of your bandmates though was like, I love that song. You should record it because right, because I feel as a creative, sometimes we're very critical about our stuff that we do. But then when someone close to you is just like, Zach, what are you doing? Like, come on. And you're just like,
Yeah,
okay, fine, whatever.
literally, that's exactly what it was. I was like, I mean, like, I don't really like it. I don't think it's very good. I was like, whatever. And he was like, no, like, let's just format it and make it sound like, you know, more like, I don't know, formulaic, I guess, and not just so. Because a lot of my songs, like I said, are just like diary entries, just like kind of like stream of consciousness, kind of like blah. And he was like, no, let's refine it a little bit, and then I think this will be a great song. And I trusted him with that, and yeah, now, and he also helped me. He produced the song, and then he also produced Available. So
Yeah.
and now he's just, yeah, they're my babies. I love them so much, and they've been helping me a lot with like just putting out music, because it's scary, it's expensive, it's a lot of work to put out music, but they've really been encouraging me. So yeah, it's been such a great journey to just finally be putting out music after all the crap that I went through with other, you know, managers and producers and stuff like that. And now it's just like, oh, I feel like I'm on a roll. Let's just keep going, keep pumping out the music. Cause I got the songs.
Yeah.
We just gotta put in the work.
Of course. So you told me that you met your band when you were in LA, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that, how you found them and that marriage, because as you were saying, they're like family now. So I'm so happy that you're able to have that. It's so important as a creative to be around good people. Like the support system is like a huge part of it.
For sure. And like, it was just weird how it happened. So yeah, I moved to LA with all these hopes and promises from like other people that I was going to be doing this and doing that and and then like I got to LA, and then a few weeks later I was ghosted by that team, and they were telling me that they were my team, that they were going to be lifting me up, that they were going to be my ride or dies, and then out of nowhere I just get completely ghosted.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost like 25 songs that I had recorded with them, just shelved. So that was traumatic, to say the least. And it definitely shaped my experience of living in LA and not having any support from, from them anyway. And, but that's a very common story. You're going to hear that a lot, But anyway, so I was just there for like a year, and I was just trying to find some people to collaborate with and just to bounce ideas off of and work with and stuff. And it was just like not working. And also I was depressed, like extremely depressed, like alone. It was bad. It was not a good time. But then I played a show at Hotel Cafe, and this guy, Eli, came up to me and he was just like, dude, you're so good. I'm actually hosting a night like this in a couple weeks. Do you want to come play it? And I was like, sure. Played his night at Hotel Cafe. And then he was like, let's just like hang out, be friends, make some music or something like that. And I was like, sure. He introduced me to his sibling and his best friend, and they were already playing in a band together. But then I don't know, it just kind of happened like naturally. I was just like, okay, well, I'm about to move back to Nashville now. Mm-hmm. But I have a tour lined up right the weekend that I'm moving home. So like, y'all want to come join me on this tour? Let's just like go out with a bang. And then I'm going to go back to Nashville. And they were like, yes. They joined me. We played like a California tour with Noah Vaughn. And it was just amazing bonding experience. We had so much fun. We rocked out. They were like, they're just so good at music. And also they've never made me feel like they're trying to change my music or change anything about it to make it anything different than what it is. They are really just there they're really elevating the music. And that's super important too, because like, these are all songs that I've already written and I want them to sound a certain way. And they've always been like, okay, yeah, sure. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. And I'm like, hey, that sounds great. And then I moved back to Nashville, and I was like, damn, like that sucks. Like we just had this amazing experience, and now I'm back here. Mm-hmm. But it's been wonderful because I've been just going back and forth a lot, going out there. They've been playing with me a lot for the past like year now. And also I'll be here in Nashville, and they'll be in LA tracking stuff for my music while I'm here in Nashville. And I'm just like, wow, like that's true love. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't even have to be there. And they're like, Zach, we tracked drums for Available today. Here's what we got. What do you think? And I'm just like that's just so beautiful. So like, I make sure to let them know like how grateful I am for that all the time. Cause you're not going to find people to do that for you. They're going to be like, okay, I'll do it. But, you need to pay me like $500 or something. And I'm going to be like, you know what I mean? So the fact that they just believe in my music so much, and I believe in them because they're so talented, all three of them. And yeah, it's been awesome. So I'm like, I might end up moving back there because I just trust them with my music and trust the stuff that we've been creating. And I can tell that there's a mutual respect there among all of us. They see my talent, I see theirs. And that's just what I've been praying for the past few years, is just like people that I trust with my music to just like be my team and really believe in me. So it's been a beautiful experience.
Oh, that makes me so happy to hear that because, like you
Yeah.
said, the music industry is crazy. I've heard horror stories from multiple people that have been on this show, like stuff that they won't even talk about on camera because, like, they can't for legal purposes, and also they don't want to like pull people under the bus. And I've
Yeah.
heard, like, some crazy, crazy, crazy stories. So like I think it's amazing when you find your people and the people that just rock with you, ride with you, support you, love you. You can feel that energy, and like when you know, because if something feels off, you gotta like be like, oh, this is not working for me.
Yeah, and I've gone through a lot of that, a lot of trial and error, a lot of like working with people that, I don't, it's not like they're the people that I've worked with in the past or anything are bad or anything like
Yeah.
that, but there's just something about like, yeah, you're right. Like, and also, like I said, they are literally family, they're siblings and like a best friend of like 10 years or something like that. So they've already got this really good simpatico, and then they like throw me in there and it's just like, wow, like this just works. And then this last trip, I got to open for Alexa Valentino, who's like this up and comer, and she's big on TikTok and stuff. um, and we had a rehearsal the night before the show, and I was just nervous because I haven't played with them in a while. It's been a few months, and then we just get into the rehearsal and we were playing a few songs, and I looked at them and I was like, y'all, why do we sound so good on this music right now? And they're like, it's just because, we finally are finding our groove, and it takes a little bit of time, but we found our groove. And then like one of my other friends got to come sit in on a rehearsal, and she filmed the whole thing, and she was just like, afterwards, she was like, Zach, that was a magical experience. Like, thank you for letting me sit in on that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, it really was. Like, it was a low key, amazing experience just to like rehearse, and we just were vibing and we were locked in. And so, I think we're gonna film some of that stuff. We have plans to like film and do some live sessions that we're gonna put up online. And yeah, I don't know. We're really working hard. I'm trying to get like a tiny desk. I'm trying to do it. I'm really out here. Things are moving. Things are shaking. I got a lot of stuff going on for me, and like y'all need to keep your eyes this way because it's about to be big. I
Of
feel
course.
it. Yeah.
A tiny desk needs to happen. Like I envision you. Like I see you doing this tiny desk. It's happening.
I think it could very well happen. Yeah, for sure. I've got everything it takes. I just got to get there. So we're working on it, and yeah, I'm really. I'm really considering moving back to LA. I mean, I love Nashville. Don't get me wrong, but like when you find that band and you find the people that I just wish I would have found them a little bit sooner, but it's okay. But I'm just rocking and rolling, dude. Like that's just part of it. That's just part of the industry. That's part of the career that I've chosen. I don't know if I'll ever have that white picket fence or a house that I own or, a husband and children and all this stuff. I don't know. I want all of that too. And I do think you can have it all. But right now, I'm just like, I got to go where my career has taken me. And I'm lucky and blessed enough to be able to have that privilege to just be like, if I want to go to LA tomorrow, I can just pick up and go. So I don't know. I'm blessed, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And I can see that joy and positivity radiating from you because, like you said, when you have good people around you, it's so important. It really makes all the difference. And then when you have the people that really don't have your best interest in mind, it's kind of like, oh, this is not gelling the way it should be.
Yeah, I mean, and I've had to learn the hard way. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to rush into anything or any, sudden moves or anything like that for sure. Um, but the clock is ticking, so I'm trying to just figure it all out.
But definitely, like you're doing so much stuff, and there's all these things coming at you, which is such an incredible spot for you to be in as a performer because you do have
Yeah.
the opportunity to be in LA and have these amazing people behind you, and then support all across the world because people are really like on your side.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that, like all across the world. I mean, I've recently been getting hit up to play in Scotland and London and like
Amazing.
all these other places, and like I
Yay.
just I just signed with an agency, so I'm super excited about that. And they have offices in Denmark and in Brooklyn, New York. And so you never know, I might be playing over in Europe, just have a little European tour or something. I don't know. We got lots of stuff in the works. So it's Mr. Worldwide,
Yeah, like Pitbull.
Exactly.
So, okay, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but you hit 10,000 streams for your Bored and I Hate It. Okay, can
Yeah,
we just
finally.
that needs to just marinate for a second. Like, that is massive, and I'm so happy for you because, like you said, it just came out a couple weeks ago. So people are loving this. What does that feel like for you?
It feels like about time. I'm super happy, and it is funny that like I didn't even like the song honestly when I wrote it necessarily, but the fact that it's done so well is awesome. And yeah, I just want to keep with the momentum because I feel like people need to hear my music. So I'm just leaning in. I'm accepting it. I'm super happy. I went and bought myself a cake that says "Congrats on 10,000 streams." I said if no one else is going to celebrate it, I'm going to celebrate it. But people are celebrating, so I'm happy for all of us involved and my band that played on it and Richard that produced it. And we got some really lovely write-ups about it and articles and stuff. And so it's been really nice.
Yay! And that's so cool to have such a huge milestone. And I think as a creative, you need to sometimes just like take a deep breath and be like, oh my gosh, like this is where I am in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't even know if I would be putting out music because it's just such an investment. And but yeah, I'm really proud of myself, and I've been working super hard and just going through a lot of bull crap. And like I said, like having 25 songs like shelved, and then just being able to be like, you know what, I'm gonna pick myself up by my bootstraps and continue to just put out this music anyway, stuff that I've written and had to start from scratch. And then those songs are getting tens of thousands of streams is just like, okay, this is maybe that was supposed to happen. I don't know, but yeah, I'm super happy and proud of myself for deciding to continue to do music because I was like, girl, I don't know if I even want to do this anymore. It's too damn much. But
Yeah.
you know how I am. I'm like, I'm just a singer. I'm a singer, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
sing.
Yeah. And sometimes you're just like, is this really the path that I'm meant to be on? But then sometimes I think when you have these big accomplishments, when you have people riding for you, when you find a team on the other side of the country that rides for you, like, isn't it wild how you can find people in LA right after you decide to like go back to Nashville and you're like, oh my gosh, but like I wish you were like 5 miles from me. I wish we all could just be this beautiful family in Nashville. But it's like I think the world will give you what you need. And then it's up to you to say, so how are we gonna do this? Am I gonna just like lean right into this? Or am I just gonna kind of like overthink it kind of thing? And I think you kind of just need to like foot on the gas, just be like, okay, this is the journey we're gonna go on.
Yeah, I mean, and that's terrifying because
Mm-hmm.
it's a big decision. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got a lot of thinking and praying and manifesting and all this other stuff to do right now because I'm kind of at a crossroads. There's just a lot of decisions that I need to be making. But I think everything's gonna work out the way that it's meant to. I'm gonna be out here representing y'alternative and Kentucky and queer people and Appalachia, and that's just, I know I'm meant to be doing that with my music. And so yeah, I'm excited for whatever happens. I feel like it's just something's shifting, and I just feel this power right now, this magic, this like something is just it's happening. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
And that's really powerful when you feel that energy and if you're not sure where you're gonna go because you're like, okay, do I do this or do I do this? And then like, I'm thinking of all these other things, and it's a scary but fun and exciting time to be in.
Yeah, I've just gotta like yeah, it's just a lot because like you've got all that going on, and then you also have to like have like a personal life somewhere, and it's just like that. So it's just it's a lot of ups and downs, and it's kind of manic, and so sometimes I go through it, like I said, all the time. I'm always going through something. So that's why it's important to have that support and people that you can lean on and just be like, y'all, like, it's been a bad day or it's been an amazing day.
Yeah.
You just got to have someone that you can turn to. And Yeah.
Support is everything. That actually brings me to my next question. How do you practice self-care and maintain your mental health while balancing your music career?
Well, like I said, I've been reading a lot, which is like a really good way for me to unplug from social media, from my phone. So that helps me a lot. I like to run a lot too and stay in the gym, because that's kind of also another way for me to just like unplug for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, my mental health, it's a lot of, I need to unplug. I need to like turn off the screens, like no screen time. That helps me a lot. But yeah, like I said, like when I was in LA, I mean, I was so depressed. I had to like, I was in therapy. I was doing all these different things to just try to like help take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But mental health should be your number one priority. I mean, like I really think that mental health should be above pretty much anything else, because if you don't got your mental right, forget it. Like you're done for. And so like that was one reason why it was important for me to move back to Nashville, be closer to my family. Because like going through all of that stuff on my own was extremely difficult, and yeah, it was really hard. But I've had to, so being back here, I've been back in Nashville not even a year yet, but it's been. I just feel like so much better. It was definitely the right decision for me to come back for a little while and just, realign all my chakras and stuff like that, and just like really practice mindfulness. I meditate a lot, I journal a lot. It's just, yeah, you got to really like bring it back in and really refocus and recenter.
Mm-hmm.
And just seek help if you need it. Honestly, reach out. I mean, I called my mom. I said, Mom, my mom's a nurse. I was like, Mom, something is going on. And she said, let's get you a doctor's appointment. We're going to get you in here. We're going to get you to talk to somebody. And so that helped me. So yeah, I think that, like you said, support, it's really, really important. I needed to come back here and be closer to my family and my friends and the people that I knew cared about me. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's powerful because you want to feel aligned and centered and meditation. And I think like you got to have those healthy coping mechanisms because sometimes life is just not a fun time. And you're like, okay, like what do I need in this moment? What will help me?
Yeah, and it's scary when you are alone going through that kind of stuff too, because that's when people can turn to like really bad vices,
Yeah.
especially out in like LA and places where it's just so easily accessible to get wrapped up in the wrong kind of things. So just know yourself and know your worth, and just, yeah, really just be careful.
Yeah. Know your worth. Yeah. And like don't fall into crazy traps because it's not good for your health. You just want to be in the right frame of mind because then when you're good, you radiate good energy.
Exactly. Yeah, people want to be around you. I mean, it's just crazy sometimes. I'm like, damn, I can't even like have a beer before I get on stage because I'll be up there goofy as hell. Like I just can't. Like that's just like I don't know how people can do it. Some people can. I mean, look, when I was like in college and stuff, I was like, you know, up there like chain smoking cigs on stage, just like period. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that anymore because I'm like too old for that. And also, I just want to like present the best version of myself when
Yeah.
I'm like performing, especially in a city like LA.
Mhm.
People dream about playing LA, and I get to do it all the time. And I get to play Hotel Cafe all the time. That's like a iconic venue. So it's just like, I don't know, just gotta be aware of your surroundings and your opportunities. Don't squander. What's the word? Squander? Yeah, don't squander your opportunities because you want to go, get drunk or high right before you're about to play. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, take it seriously. This is your career.
Right.
you know?
First impression is everything. Like you said, when you were at that show the other day and you saw all those teenage girls and that was their first concert, like we always remember our first concert. And so
Right.
like that's a huge part of their life. And they're always gonna be like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, we saw this guy, Zach. He was so awesome. And so like that's their very first impression of you.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah. And we rocked it. It was so fun. But it was just so funny because I was like, there's a lot of like Well, and because Alexa herself, the girl I was opening for, is like probably. I said Alexa, and my TV was like, sorry, no, not you. Alexa Valentino herself. She's like 18 or 19 years old. And I was opening for her. So all of her fans, of course, are also like 16, 17, 18-year-old girls. But like, yeah, after the show, we just like were talking to some of them, and they were all like, "This is our first concert. Like, this is the first." We just drove up from. Some of them had driven like 3-4 hours to come to the show.
Wow.
And their parents were like, "You guys were, so good." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we're playing Hotel Cafe tomorrow." And they're like, "Oh no, we just drove up from like San Diego because she's never been to a concert, and it's just like, yeah. And I was like, wow, it's a true honor because they got to see us like really rocking out, full band, just like having fun. And I was singing, so it was good.
Oh, I love it. Like that was an experience for you, but also for them as well.
100%, yeah. And it
Amazing.
was at Genghis Cohen, was my first time playing there. Which is like a Chinese restaurant. I don't know if you ever heard of Genghis Cohen before or not,
I
but
have not. I
um,
actually haven't been out to LA like that. Like I've been like 2 or 3 times, but I haven't like been there, been there.
okay, yeah. Well, this venue is cool, and it's like basically like this really interesting, like old school Chinese restaurant. That's like packed. I mean, busy, busy. But then like on the side, they have like a music venue, and they always have really cool acts coming through there. And it's like a small space, but yeah, that was just like a bucket list moment. Genghis Cohen, so cool. And then after the show, we went and we ate Chinese food. We ate down. We just like was like we were just like on a high. Literally, we were just like, oh my god, we just rocked. Let's just celebrate. It was so fun. Oh, love it.
Yay. I love that. Was it good Chinese food though?
I would say like if you are a little bit like maybe a little bit stoned, then yeah.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, because I mean we were just going to town. I don't know if I would go there unless it was like, after like a night of like partying or something. But listen, we ate every bite. It was delicious. It was delicious. Yeah.
Love it. Well, Zach, that's all the time that we have for this evening. But before I let you go, do you have any final words for the room?
Well, thank you for having me. It's been so fun. Always a pleasure to come on
Yeah.
here. I would say just keep an eye on my socials if you want to come see me play, because I'm playing some stuff I'm playing Nashville on May 22nd. And then May 29th, I'm going to New York and I'm recording these live to vinyl sessions. So
Cool.
if you want a song, maybe I can send you the link and you can put it in the description or something
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
it's called Least of All, Leestavall, Least of All. And you can just like pick one of my songs. You can pick Available, New York, Washington, Bored and I Hate It, or Stars Are Blind by Paris Hilton.
Mhm.
And whatever song you pick, I'm going to record it live and they're going to press it to vinyl, and then I will send it to you, and you will get to have like your own little 7-inch vinyl of me singing whatever song you want with a personalized message from me on there. So super excited about that.
That is fun.
And it's like $30, and you get like your own individual vinyl of me. So I'm gonna get one for myself because I'm like, that's gonna be so cool. I can't wait to hear what that sounds like.
Of course.
Yeah, and then I'm just playing some Pride stuff this summer, and then I'm back in LA in June. So yeah, we got lots of stuff going on. Just stay tuned because it's about to be crazy.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Thank you for coming on my show for a fourth time. Always such a pleasure chatting with you, Zach. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Zach. He's everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, you're like on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, you're everywhere.
Period. Exactly. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun. Anytime you want me to come on, I'm here.
Oh my gosh. Love, love, love having you on. Guys, please make sure to follow Zach. And if he's in a city near you, go support and go see him live. He's incredible.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a great time.
Yes. And if you're new here, I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibe with Ashley Live. And thank you guys for joining me for episode 230. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, guys. Bye-bye. Yay.